In this video, I'm going to show you the very basics of how to pose for portraits. These are simple ways to get a flattering picture. Like any rule or suggestion, there are always exceptions. But if you're first learning how to take portraits, here are a few tips. An easy way to remember is the word basics. It stands for bend, angle, space, important, center, and shift. Straight lines can be boring. They have their place, but usually in order to get an interesting picture, you need to have some sort of bend. For most portraits, you usually want the elbows or knees to bend. This makes the pose look more natural and less stiff. Even with fashion photography, bends create interesting shapes, which in turn makes for an interesting portrait. Flat lines tend to make things look wider. By adding a slight angle, usually the shoulders or hips, you create a focus point that draws attention to only a portion of the model. White space to designs is like air to lungs. You need it. Even with portraits, space keeps the picture from looking bulky and gives the subject a bigger presence without a bigger waistline. Space can be vertical or horizontal, and it can also include depth. Although I didn't color it in, the space created by the model on the right lifting her chin also counts. Honestly, I really didn't know what to call this one. All I knew is that I needed an I word, and this was my favorite tip. It's simple. Stick your chin out and down, and bring your shoulders back and down. It's flattering for everyone. No, I don't mean to ignore the rule of thirds. I'm talking about centering the vertical camera angle. Shooting from straight on or above is almost always more flattering than shooting from below. You are constantly putting weight on an area of your body. This is usually a leg, hip, or even an elbow. Standing or sitting stiff looks awkward. Shift your weight to where it looks or feels most comfortable. Now that we're done with the basics, here are a few more tips that might help you with shooting portraits. Pinterest is your new best friend. You can find countless pose ideas and you can save them to look at later. It's super convenient. Unless you've been doing it for a while, it can be hard to remember what poses you want to do, and it can be even harder to explain the pose. Check Pinterest or save pictures on your phone for a quick reference during the shoot. I've even seen people keep pictures in a binder. All poses don't work for everyone, especially when it comes to shooting guys and girls. I constantly miss the little details that drive me crazy when I go to edit. Maybe a necklace is backwards, or maybe a piece of hair is sticking out weird. It only takes a second to check before you take the shot. It's worth it. Also pay attention to everything else that's going on around the pose. Framing is super important, as is the background. Even making sure you have variety in your poses is really important. My last tip is to have fun, goof off, and play. Obviously, you need to be professional, but I found that my favorite photos are usually the ones that are candid and authentic. Posing for portraits isn't hard, you just need to know the basics. The more you know and the more you shoot, the more you'll find yourself trying new things and being more creative. So grab your camera, grab a model, and give it a shot. Literally.